At this point, I couldn't stop myself from running. Every second counted. This was it. 48 hours of planning, scrambling, and chasing down every card came down to this, and if we didn't make it in time, it would all be over. Every single card gone, all in the clutches of Evil Jake? I absolutely could not let that happen. Failure, not an option, but with the clock ticking down, it was gonna be close. It all started with a message from the one person I never wanted to hear from again. Evil Jake. You can tell he's Evil Jake and not regular Jake by the mustache.
Collect every card from Bloomborough in 48 hours or you're a loser. Get every card in the main set and you win. Anything less, you lose, and I get all the cards. Ha ha ha. I'm going to burn them to warm my cheeks. No pressure. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, no pressure. I'm feeling determined, but I don't really have a plan. Reality's hitting me like a ton of bricks. 281 cards. 48 hours. And if that isn't bad enough, there's also 71 showcase and special guest cards. Evil Jake is out there, laughing, betting on my failure. First things first, gas. I have defeated evil on many occasions, but this time, I don't know how good is going to prevail. Putting together an entire set, that sounds impossible. In 2 days? I don't think I'm going to be able to do this on my own. I think that's the biggest point here. If I'm ever going to make it through this, I need a co-pilot. Somebody with a sharp eye, a steady hand, and a willingness to drive all over Atlanta. Normal Jake is in Los Angeles, so he isn't an option. I need someone like Spec. Spec, I'm good. I've been challenged. I need your help. I'm on my way to you. Okay, Spec is in and totally isn't confused about what's going on at all. My plan is sparse, but it's still a plan in 2 parts. Number 1, head to Spec's place. Number 2, figure out how to do the rest of this. I'm about an hour away from Spec, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't live near any stores. A big part of this challenge is just going to be Atlanta traffic. I know there are options in the city, I just have to get there first, and the clock is ticking. Traffic started off pretty good, and hopefully it won't become a nightmare. I can now see the seconds slipping away, waiting in traffic, and with them, my chances of beating Evil Jake. But I'm not giving up. I do know some shortcuts which will hopefully shave some time off. As I was waiting at a red light, I saw a bunch of trash cans tipped over on the sidewalk. Look at all that trash. What if this challenge turns into a dumpster fire? What if I can't do this? Am I trash? No, I'm not garbage. I'm a big boy. And big, smart, successful boys don't give up at the first sign of trouble. All right, I just got to Spec's place. I'm about to pop up and grab him. I don't know how I'm going to keep track of this, though. We need some sort of solution to store all these cards in a way where we can keep track of what we've got and what we don't have. We'll have to look at that next, I guess. This is Spec, aka The Numbers Guy. He helps out on our channel a ton and runs his own YouTube channel, MTG Metrics.
You son of a bitch.
I've given him literally 0 time to prep, but I know he likes a good challenge. Whoa, and Spec really comes through. This notebook has everything labeled and laid out beautifully. Base set, stretch goals, the whole deal. We need to track every single card from the most common of commons to the hardest to find rares. This notebook is going to be our guidepost and keep us on track through the entire ordeal. 2 days, 300 cards, 1 Evil Jake. Drip heard that Evil Jake had challenged me to collect all of Bloomborough and was gonna help. We feel like we've got the right coordinates for this box. We're hitting the parking deck right now. We're gonna head in here and see where this leads us. I'm trying to stay optimistic, but this challenge is crazy. There are so many cards in this set. Even the basic lands have rarer variants. When we arrive at the coordinates, Drip texts us that they've hidden 2 boxes of Bloomborough cards somewhere in the city to help us out, but we have to find them first. The clock's ticking and there isn't a second to waste. Luckily, the first box was right where they sent us. There's only one problem. This is one of the biggest tourist spots in all of Atlanta, and we had to find a box of magic cards inside. 45 hours remain and we haven't put a single card in the notebook. I'm starting to feel nervous. As we get inside, Drip texts us again, find the animal guide. Animal guide? What could they mean? There are so many animals here. We looked everywhere. No box with the fish, nothing by the sharks. I keep thinking about that animal guide clue. Wait a second, otters. Otters are pretty much the Bloomborough poster child, right? If any animal in here fits the description of animal guide, it has to be them. We found it. Box 1 of Bloomborough. Thanks, otters. You're the real MVPs. Also, Drip, who provided the boxes. Drip is basically as cool as otters. Thanks to Drip, and thanks to the otters. We find a good place to set up and we waste no time. It is time to crack packs. I feel a little relieved that we're finally opening packs, but in the back of my mind, I can feel the pressure starting to mount. Every card in this box has to count. This is more than just opening packs. It's sink or swim. Get it? Sink or swim. We're at the aquarium. A few packs in and no big hits yet. There are some super rare cards that would be huge to knock out early before having to hunt down singles. Cards like Lumra, the Calamity Beasts, Three Tree City, and all of its seasonal variants. We just sort of dove into this box opening without a plan and developed the process as we went. We were sorting fully by color regardless of rarity with this first box, since the collector numbers go in order by color then alphabetically. After everything was open, we sorted them out roughly by number and I started putting away things in their appropriate spot. This is the first time I'm ripping packs on a mission. I'm pretty sure we'll get a bunch of the lower rarity cards locked down, but the rares I'm worried about. A few packs in, no big hits yet. Suddenly Spec cries out and we've got our first hit, and it's a good one. Three Tree City. This is huge. Maybe we can do this. A few more packs, Spec has another hit. A foil Innkeeper's Talent. This is a great pickup. This rare's been blowing up the standard meta, so getting a pricey card like this pulled is awesome. It's also nice to pull foils of top hits, as long as we also pull non-foils of those cards so that we can use the foils to trade for non-foil cards we missed. Evil Jake didn't say anything about shiny cards. While we were sorting through the first box, a couple of people spotted our Bloomborough packs. Turns out, even at the aquarium, Magic the Gathering has fans everywhere.
Bidding is trading Magic cards right now.
We're shooting the video.
They even had their Commander deck on them and asked if we wanted to play, and as much as I wanted to take a break and play a quick game of Commander with them, because seriously, who doesn't want to say they've played Magic at an aquarium?
I always keep my cards on me. I don't know why, it's just...
That's a true Magic player right there. I couldn't let my mind stray from the challenge. Every minute was precious. My brain was already racing to the next pack, the next card. I was pretty surprised with our progress from a single play booster box, but we were still so far from some of our goals. We snagged a ton of commons and uncommons and even nabbed quite a few rares and mythics. We lucked out not having a ton of duplication in this box, which is really going to help our game. However, all of our stretch goals were basically empty still. We only hit one showcase frame in the whole box. One. I know there isn't a dedicated slots in the packs for the showcase frame, but it still feels like we missed big on that one. Just as we got everything put away, I feel my phone buzz. It's Drip, and we have our next clue. The aquarium was getting crowded, so we headed toward the gift shop and the exit. Drip said our next clue would be on the way out in a sealed envelope. A sealed envelope could be anywhere in the gift shop. Are we gonna have to spend a bunch of time we don't have searching for it? Spec was like, what if they meant it literally, and went over to a bunch of seal plushies, and oh my god, there it is. Shout out to the dad working at Drip leaving us these clues, I guess. We open the envelope, read the clue, and it's only one sentence. The next box is at PCM, but it's MIA. I don't know what MIA means right now, but I do know where we're headed. PCM has got to mean Ponce City Market. We say farewell to the aquarium and hit the road. Inside Ponce City Market, and Drip's clue mentioned something about the box being MIA. That doesn't sound great. It means even less. We're wandering around looking for a card shop, a game store, or even a freaking Spencer's Gifts. Anything that might have Magic the Gathering cards. We can't find anything. No signs, no obvious clues. Then, out of nowhere, I see something that gives me hope. A paper plane. MIA. Was the clue really MIA's hit song from 2008, Paper Planes, featured in the hit movie Pineapple Express, starring Seth Rogen and James Franco, directed by David Gordon Green? Maybe we aren't completely lost after all. Just like MIA, we only need the one hit to be famous here, and that one hit is this second box. We head into Archer Paper Goods to see what we can find. And there it is, the second box, hidden in a cabinet. We solved the riddle, but now the real work begins. We crack open the second box and get straight to work. We knock out the last few commons and uncommons from the base set almost immediately, but the rares and mythics, that's where things start to get tricky. Thankfully, with this second box, we've already filled out so much of the bulk that we're just flying through these packs. Something catches my eye. Holy crap, Alumra. This is huge. This is one of the biggest hits in the set. Spec is overjoyed when I show it to him. With the base set almost filled in, I start worrying about the harder pulls, showcase frames, special guests, and some of the toughest base set cards, Maha, Rottenmouth. Suddenly, our first special guest, Rat Colony. Yes, let's go. We're thrilled to cross that one off the list. I was starting to think they didn't even put special guests in play boosters. In fact, it's starting to feel like finding these stretch goals is going to be the real challenge. Time is ticking down, and I'm not sure we're going to make it. We're going to have to figure out a strategy for these showcase frames. My stomach reminds me that I haven't eaten yet, and neither has Spec, so we put the challenge on pause to refuel. At least we've made good progress on the main set, which will still defeat Evil Jake. We found a pizza place, so we stopped for a slice to regroup and recharge. The base set completion was looking great. We had all the uncommons and only needed one more common, which was one of the hard to pull basic lands, so so it was sort of a rare common. The stretch goals had moved a bit, but outside the special guest rat, there wasn't much to get excited about. We threw our extra cards into a trade binder, and now that we're refueled, we're ready to keep moving. After leaving Ponce, we face a tough decision. 2 local game stores, each about a half hour away normally, and the traffic's only getting worse. If we make the wrong choice, we could waste valuable time. Both stores have a ton of singles to offer, but are they the right ones? Which one gives us the best chance of making trades before Friday Night Magic starts? Between the two, it seemed like Super Games and Milton was our best bet. It sounded like they had a solid selection, and even better, they're willing to buy our bulk to help fund the rest of the cards that we need. Traffic's piling up, time slipping away, so we make the call. Super Games is our next stop. If we strike out here, though, it could honestly cost us the whole challenge. GPS says we're about 40 or 50 minutes out, but of course Atlanta traffic has other plans. We're over an hour at this point. What's normally a 20-minute drive without traffic is turned into a ridiculous crawl. Every minute that passes, the weight of this challenge feels heavier. If this doesn't work out, we'll have lost 2 hours just to get there and back for one store. We only have 26 more cards to find to complete this base set. I bet Evil Jake's laughing his mustache off somewhere. The long drive does give Spec time to undo my lunacy. I had been shoving 4 cards into every single pocket to have full 4 sets of every single card. Oh, it'll be nice to have full play sets of everything. Yeah, super dumb. Spec fixes that while we're driving. Look, it's my first time doing a challenge like this, okay? I don't know what I'm doing. Finally, we make it to Super Games. The store promised a decent selection of singles, and even better, they're willing to buy all of our extra cards. This is huge. Every extra piece of cardboard we've got can go toward the challenge, and if all goes well, we'll trade our bulk for the missing pieces of the set. First order of business, I've got to sort the bulk. This is our chance to turn extra cards into store credit and hopefully fill in the gaps in the base set and stretch goals. We've got some nice hits from earlier packs, a foil Innkeeper's Talent, an extra 3-tree city, and those are really going to help us in a big way. But it's a careful balancing act. We don't want to sell off everything that might help us later. Stores usually give you about 70% of a card's value, and that's helpful for swapping extras that most people aren't looking for, but the big hits, we can get full value in a trade. I decide to keep back a small batch of the cards that are the best trade bait, and we use our store credit to swap in our extra cards for some cards we didn't pull. While they don't have everything, this is a huge win and helps out tremendously. Just as we're about to leave, Spec notices a Commander game wrapping up, and of course, Spec never misses an opportunity. He asks if anyone's got any Bloomborough trades, and they do. A couple of them have some real gems. Cards we're missing both for the base set and stretch goals. We even got a Borderless Rottenmouth Viper, one of the cards I thought we would never find. A few more solid hits like Showcase Mabel, Showcase Hugs. I hand them my trade binder and it's enticing, but we may need something else to get this deal done, so Spec also whips out his binder and now we got a stew going. The crew picks out some solid hits like a Secret Lair Chibi Garrick and a foil Secret Lair Well of Dreams. We squared the deal up using the Dragon Shield app, which is great for lining up trades. It's what I use for trades and I love it because I already have my collection, decks, wants list, and trade list stored in there for easy access. We finish up those trades and head back to the notebook. We've made some serious headway at Super. The base set is starting to come together and we've even knocked out a few of the harder to find rares. I ask Super to give us a heads up if any Bloomborough comes into the store and we head out. Super Games.
You got us good.
Thank you, Super Games. All the support we got throughout the day, from Drip to the players and of course the otters, helped out a ton. It felt like everybody wanted to defeat Evil Jake. As I drove home tired and unsure, I realized something. This wasn't just about beating Evil Jake. This was about proving to myself that I could finish what I started. Excuses are easy, but following through on something you put your mind to is one of the most gratifying feelings ever. That's what this adventure has become for me. Proving I can do something bigger. I'm in the middle of it, day 2. Just 5 hours left and it's do or die. Yesterday was brutal, long hours, relentless traffic, the constant fear that Evil Jake could snatch victory at the last moment.
Oh yeah!
But today so far? Today is worse. We've made it to the vendor floor of Dragon Con, but that's after a rough and unexpected morning. We were driving to the con after picking up Spec, but this time it wasn't just me and him, we had backup. Spec's wife, my wife, and even our little baby Eleanor were with us. Everyone's in on this and there's no turning back. But there's one new rule. We have to be done by 5:30 because the baby's gonna be done by 5:30. No extensions, no second chances. Once the baby's done, we're done. And if we aren't done, Evil Jake wins. We had our badges after our first huge crowd of the day and we're heading toward the vendor hall for all of Dragon Con. We get into a line that disappears behind a corner and now it's time to wait. Surely we just go around the corner and there's the door and we're inside in the air conditioning. I mean, it would be dangerous to have people out in this heat for longer than like 10 minutes. here's the line wrapping back on itself. Here's a corner we turned. Here's another corner we turned. Oh, then we were underground. Ooh, spooky. Then another corner, and after walking in these doors, we were inside. Now came the real challenge, finding the magic vendors. Wow, this place is nuts. Everywhere I look, there's something, from cosplay to comics to every nerdy corner of the universe. And yeah, it's awesome, but we've got a mission here and time is ticking. I'm laser focused, searching for magic vendors like an otter doing that thing where they pound a clam with a rock to search for food. It's not a great analogy, but I'm not an otter scientist. Every corner we turn is another dead end. We keep striking out left and right. No Bloomborough, no singles, nothing. I start to feel the weight of failure creeping in. My heart is pounding. Did we come all this way only to lose at the final stretch? Evil Jake would love that. I know there's got to be a dedicated MTG section around here somewhere, so we head upstairs. We get up there hoping this is where the good stuff is, but no dice. Actually, there was a ton of dice, but you know what I mean. First stop, Wasteland Gaming. I remember we almost drove there yesterday instead of Super, and they did say they had singles when Spec called them.
They don't have singles on site. They don't have boxes on site. There we go. All local. But we did get a coupon. If we have to pull a complete audible and go off-site, we'll get 10% off if we go to Wasteland.
I'm starting to wonder if this whole thing's a bust. Every booth we've hit, it's like the magic gods have abandoned us. We find a booth selling magic singles, well, mostly stickers and random knickknacks, but they've got one notebook of magic cards. I flip through it, hoping for something, anything, but nothing we need. Next, we find Borderlands Gaming. They've got tons of great packs. I don't see any Bloomborough though. No collector packs, nothing that's going to help us close this gap. They had some play boosters, but let's be real. The odds of hitting one of the showcase or special guest cards that we actually need at this point from those packs are slim to none. It's just not worth it. The hope I had at the beginning of the day is nearly gone. Just as all hope seemed lost, we turned a corner and finally we found a booth that's loaded with magic product. Multiple binders of singles, packs everywhere. This is just what we've been searching for.
Oh, they got some good stuff in here. All right.
Without hesitating, we grabbed their last 3 collector boosters of Bloomborough. We hadn't seen a single collector pack all day, and a box of those was sort of the plan to make significant headway on the showcase frames. They only had the 3 packs, but we couldn't be too nitpicky at this point, and hopefully there's some heat in these, so we grabbed them. Next, we dive into the singles. The place is packed, though. We are elbow to elbow with people trying to make trades. It's chaos. Despite the chaos, we found some hits. Sylvan Tutor, Sword of Fire and Ice. I get my notebook to the vendor, and we're in business. This is looking like it could be the big trade we needed before we go to the Magic Floor Holy Land and are surrounded by tons of vendors. We made a big trade at this first stop. Along with some other cards, I handed over my Mox Amber and Anointed Procession, some serious value, and in return, we land some of the big special guests, and that's Sword of Fire and Ice with the otter in the art I was talking about.
We actually caught some singles. I got a good trade going, big trade just now. Got some excellent singles. We're gonna organize everything once we get settled.
This was a huge step forward after a pretty rough morning. We needed that win badly. Maybe things are turning around for us here at DragonCon. I spot one more booth with glass cases in the corner, and I want to hit that before we leave this building for good. At this next booth, there's no binder flipping, just big hits locked in display cases. While we're busy pulling some cards, we actually catch the eye of a fan. Shannon here says he watches our videos and tells us he's got some top tier Bloomborough stuff, including not 1 but 2 Three Trees City cards in the seasonal showcase versions, and he's excited to help us with this video. We found a spot and did the trade. Some cold hard cash and some custom JAJAM Dragon Shield sleeves got us across the line and locked in those key cards we needed. This was exactly the kind of boost we needed, and we haven't even hit the main magic section yet. Shannon was so clutch, and it was like the magic gods made us run into each other that day. After all of this, before we hit the magic floor, it's time to check how we're doing. I go through the notebook, making sure we've got everything organized. We've got some big wins on this floor, certainly more than we thought we would see, but we're still far from done. I'm feeling like we've squeezed every bit of juice from this building, but I'm hopeful that the magic section has something bigger in store. We cross the bridge of no return and start searching out the magic section of this convention. We found the gaming hall, and wow, is this place packed. People everywhere, tables full, drafts firing. The room is buzzing with activity. My hopes are high as we spot a vendor right away and head straight for him. We found it. A big store with cases, binders, everything we've been searching for. But wait, is this the only Magic the Gathering vendor in the entire hall? That is not good. As we start walking around, it hits me. All of these people are not even here for Magic. We're in the middle of a massive gaming hall, but Magic is tucked away in this one tiny area, and this vendor is the only one in the entire area. We pick up a few cards from the one vendor, but nothing major, and at this point, our energy is draining fast. I made a quick post on social media hoping for some kind of miracle because honestly, I'm starting to lose hope.
Main set's basically done. Hit me up. I'm in the Atlanta area. I need them in my hands today.
Out of nowhere, we ran into the nitpicking nerds. They spotted us and we have a quick chat. I tell them about the challenge and they ask how they can help. I remember the collector packs I got earlier and now seems like the perfect time for a Hail Mary. We cracked open some packs hoping for a miracle. It was Mia's turn and she didn't find anything that we needed for the notebook. The words buy singles are weighing heavily on me as Beezy's opening his pack and he doesn't have any big ticket items, but we did get at least one single showcase that we didn't have. I opened my pack and found absolutely nothing that I needed. While the collector boosters definitely stung, it was great having the nerds come over and help us out. Big shout out to them for the help and motivation to keep going. We scour the hall asking anyone and everyone if they've got trades, even the babies in on it at this point. But despite a few solid hits, the stretch goals are slipping through our fingers. I think it's become clear at this point, we have to focus on the base set or Evil Jake's gonna win.
Wonderful.
We're done here. It's completely Jolver at Dragon Con. Sitting here any longer and hoping for Santa to come along with a giant bag of Bloomburrow isn't going to help. It's time to move. We've got to focus on finishing the base set if we stand any chance against Evil Jake. New plan, hit up Wasteland Gaming. We almost went there yesterday anyway. Their booth earlier didn't have any Bloomburrow cards, but they told us their store might. They even gave us a 10% off coupon to sweeten the deal and get us to go. They've got some of what we need to be finished with this whole thing, but still no sign of that damn snake, Rottenmouth Viper. We have been searching for it everywhere and it's still MIA. And then it happens. My phone rings. It's Super Games. They had been keeping an eye out for us, and guess what? The cards had just come in. Someone had come in and sold all their extra Bloomburrow just now, and they were there. The ones I need. He's got them put aside, ready to go. I just have to make it in time before the deadline. The race is on. We're running out of time, but if we can get there, we might just pull this off. We rush inside, grab the cards, and start filling in the final slots in the notebook. Every single card is a victory. Every page is a triumph. A triumph for us, a triumph for the Otters, and with the last card in place, it's done. We've completed the base set. We all did it. Big thanks to Super Games in Milton, Georgia, everyone who came up and said hey or contributed to the notebook, Shannon, all the vendors at Dragon Con, Nitpicking Nerds, our wives, my sweet baby Eleanor. Evil Jake was defeated. He does not get the cards.
I hate losing.
But we didn't get the stretch goals, which means I don't get to keep them either, which means that you're going to have a chance to win this actual collection and own a piece of a Jake and Joel or Magic video. We're going to be auctioning off this entire collection at our next drip show. Check that pinned comment for the link to the show and a link to the auction that's already running. Again, enormous thanks to Spectro. I couldn't have done this video without you. Thanks so much for watching the video this far, and if you liked it and you want to see more like it, subscribing and sharing it with a friend who might like it as well goes a long way.